Meepo V4 has finally been released 2 years after the launch of the V3. What are the significant changes and upgrades, and is this the right budget board for you? I'll be answering all of these questions and more in this extended review of the Meepo V4 versus the Meepo V3. Also, I will be announcing the winner of the giveaway later in this video. We got hundreds of entries and the channel has finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Welcome everyone to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy my content because I have a lot more planned in the future. So stay tuned for that. Let's get started with the deck. The V4's deck is made out of 8 layers of Canadian maple and 1 layer of fiberglass. Some would say that the V3 has some flex. Well, the V4 is quite stiff for a change. This is better for being more stable at top speeds, but at the price of that extra comfort you get from a bouncy deck. The deck is 36 inches long, which is relatively short in this day and age. I prefer the wide stance of my 42-inch board like the Wowgo AT2, but I have been picking up the Shuffle way more because of portability. Compared to the V3's flat deck, the V4 has deck flares to lock your feet in while riding. The flares give you the confidence to carve and maneuver the V4 way easier than the V3. It's much more natural to turn and you never feel like you're going to slip off. So these flares add to the overall fun of the Meepo V4, but I do have some issues with it, and I will get to that later in this video. Let's move on to the reason why this board feels so good, and that would be I have to say that this thing moves. During our tests, we were able to hit upwards of 28 miles per hour. And believe me when I say it's exhilarating. The V4 comes with 620 watt upgraded motors, and the V3 only has 540 watts. I warn you, in Speed Mode 4, this board is straight up dangerously fun. Taking off on Pro Mode is a feeling that I'll never get used to. You literally take off. Another great thing is that the punch is more pronounced when you're cruising at higher speeds. If you're going 17 miles per hour and floor it, you'll feel the same kick, which is powerful enough to throw you off if you're not prepared. This for a fact does not happen on the V3. If you are a beginner, I highly advise that you stay away from this mode. If you're an adrenaline junkie, the V4 will satisfy all of your dreams. Another major upgrade is the V4 has leveled up their electronic speed controller game from the Lingyi ESC to the second generation Lifoc ESC. This ESC is now so responsive that it reads your controller inputs down to the milliseconds. The higher response time allows the rider to be more precise with their inputs, making it a more natural and intuitive riding experience. When you accelerate or brake, you can expect the V4 to do it instantly. On the V3, you could feel that the remote inputs weren't being read as soon as you pressed them, which made me feel uneasy. Meepo was able to fix many of the issues that the V3 had, and I'm happy to say that the V4 is a smooth, predictable riding experience. It is also beginner-friendly. With 4 different speed modes and 4 different braking modes, you can dial in the riding characteristics that you'd like, making the V4 great for beginners and at the same time, a torque monster. Now, let's move on to build quality. When it comes to budget boards, they tend to cheap out on design. Well, I'm happy to say that the V4 changes the game with this curvy board. The red accents of the grip tape combined with the red wheels make this board pop out from the rest. Even the road side of the board is red, with a red button and bushings to go with it. You can tell that they gave a lot of attention to detail to the V4. The deck also shows the beautiful layers of maple rather than covering it up black. I love how the washers and the nut are coated in a nice looking gold rather than just a standard black. This new change to the enclosures looks so good. I was a little skeptical once I saw the first photos. Still, after seeing this thing in person, you appreciate the beauty in the curves and the originality. Meepo has changed the battery display from digital to just a couple of lights to tell you the percentage, and this button deserves way more praise. It's a soft rubber button that clicks, and it's just way more satisfying. The rubber seal for the charger is finally improved. It's not difficult to push it back into place like it was on the V3, and it also does not come out during rides. The orange rubber on the V3 ripped off too quickly. Small things like this add value to someone like me. All of the screws on the V4 are also hidden, giving this board a premium polished look. Meepo has stated that the defective rate will be so low that you will have no reason to open up this board, which is something that I highly respect. Now let's move on to the other specs of this board. The V4 has a new 45-degree angled shredder chuck. It makes the V4 a lot easier to turn and carve, but it doesn't compromise the stability when going higher speeds. Meepo has also hardened the bushings from 90 to 100 hardness, which was a must-have on the Meepo V3. I only had to tighten the trucks down a little bit to completely remove the wobbles altogether. The wheels are the same as the V3's 90 millimeters, except that the PU sleeves last 3 times as long. This is awesome because after going out for a couple rides, you can see that the V3 polyurethane would chip off very frequently. And it sounds like the new sleeves got rid of this annoying issue. You can separately purchase an 8 amp charger for the V4, which will fully charge the board in 30 minutes. This to me is a serious game changer. I know when I had my first board, I wanted to constantly ride it, but I would have to wait 3 hours just for it to charge. I highly recommend it to anyone who only owns one electric skateboard. You can expect about 8 to 10 miles on standard and 16 to 20 miles for the extended rated version. The Shuffle has a higher torque and motor output. You can expect less range, especially if you're in speed mode 4. But I don't find myself in that mode very often. If you guys would like me to do a range test video, just let me know down in the comments. Now, let's talk about one issue that I have with this board, the deck flares. I've had multiple people try the V4, and unfortunately, many of them find the flares too uncomfortable to stand on for long periods of time. Depending on how you're standing, it can feel like you have 2 points of contact, your heel or upper foot. You can imagine it can get pretty uncomfortable after a long riding session, especially if your feet are too big. I feel like these flares were made for smaller feet in mind. If Meepo lowered these flares just a little bit, it would feel a lot more comfortable. All in all, for $470, you're getting a deck with flares to lock your feet, a rich red aesthetic, a dust-tight battery and ESC enclosure, an upgraded responsive and beginner-friendly ESC, 45-degree shredder trucks with stable bushings, improved urethane lasting 3 times as longer, 620-watt motors with speed and torque that is unlike any other board, and the ability to fully charge while eating Taco Bell. The quality for $470 is unlike any other budget board that I've seen. If you're looking for your first electric skateboard, the V4 is exactly where that's at. Some might be asking if you should upgrade from the V3 to the V4, and I would say if you already have a pretty solid board, it doesn't make sense to upgrade to the V4 because they're very similar. Alright guys, now it's time to see who is gonna win this brand new Meepo V4. So currently I have 293 comments to pick from. Just remember that there can only be one winner. I thank each and every single one of you for subscribing and making comments. I also have other reviews that I have to make. I have the Tiny Board Classic right over there and the Ian Skate R3 right behind that. So we're gonna be getting a lot more reviews on the channel very soon. I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and see who won the giveaway. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. And the winner of the Meepo V4 is AJ Senhauser. I've been really thinking about this board is viable for me to use on my very hilly college campus. The video makes me think that I can probably handle it. Congratulations, AJ Senhauser. I think that's how you say your name. You have won a brand new Meepo V4. All right guys, thank you again to everyone who participated in this great giveaway. I'm really proud that I'm able to do these types of things on my channel, and I'm also glad that we were able to hit 1,000 subscribers. I thank each and every single one of you for helping me get to this point, and hopefully many more to come soon. I will see all of you guys in the next one. Peace.